by far the most watched kids cartoon is Spongebob. With almost 50 million viewers per month, it's no surprise it's popular. But it also has its fair share of games, each with lots of speedrunning glitches in it. But one of these is the opposite of those, Spongebob Run. So, it's an auto-scroller. How do you speedrun an auto-scroller like Spongebob Run? Well, this web game has its fair share of tiny skips. And over the past 4 years, it's become a very optimized speedrun. This is the history of Spongebob Run World Records. It's unknown when the full game of Spongebob Run released, but an estimate should be around 2017 or 2018. It was released on Nickelodeon's site where you can find their games. Let me give you a quick rundown of this game. Spongebob Run is a very complex autoscroller. There are 5 worlds, each with a total of 3 levels. Each level needs you to collect a certain amount of pickles. First level needs 50, second needs 75, and third needs 100. If you come with less than the required amount, you can't move on to the next level. Once completing all the levels in each world, you get a golden pickle. Once getting all of them, you can move on to the plankton boss fight. A runner that is a walkthroughist named Cartoon Games would be the first to get a world record. The first speedrun of this wouldn't be a speedrun, but a walkthrough of this game, clocking in at 21 minutes and 51 seconds. There's not really much to this speedrun, however. The only way you can get pickles is by getting their standalones or kill enemies. There are also characters around the stage, each giving you different power-ups. Patrick turns you into a spring, letting you jump higher. Sandy gives you karate gloves, allowing you to kill enemies without jumping on them. Gary gives you a bubble shield, which does the same thing as Sandy's gloves. Cartoon Games used jets in some stages to skip parts of certain stages. They also used the half power-up, which splits SpongeBob into 2. In World 5, Larry the Lobster appears. Once touched, he takes you to a minigame where you can collect pickles for 9 seconds. Once getting the final golden pickle, it was time for Plankton. Plankton can shoot 2 things. He can rather shoot out a laser, or shoot a pufferfish. You can jump on the pufferfish and Plankton's robot gets knocked down. You can then jump on him, and he takes damage. You have to hit him a total of 5 times. Finally, after hitting him the 5th time, he had completed the walkthrough, and the first speedrun ever in Spongebob Run history. However, this run could be way better. Whenever Cartoon Games bumped into a wall, it took them a very long time to get back on track. These bump-ins alone lost them a significant amount of time. They also waited a lot of time for the results, which wasted them big time. Overall, it could be better optimized, however, it would stand for the next 3 years. The reason why the run was so uncontested was because of Spongebob Run's obscurity. No one really posted any footage of Spongebob Run. And the total amount of videos I found of Spongebob Run is 15 videos. But finally, 3 years later, a new runner would start grinding the game. He got unrecorded PBs like a 22:25, but on August 24th, he was on the world record pace. So, who was this person, and how did he beat the record by 24 seconds? Well, you might have heard of him before, Simply Dev. It took him less time when he bumped into walls and he didn't wait too long on the results screen. But then... You blasted particle head! Simply Dev then got a 21:16, another 11-second world record improvement. It took even less time for Dev to go to the next level, and combined with some movement cleanup made for a 21:16. A new runner had finally broke the 3-year-long dry spell. But, when will the next world record come? The 21:16 would stand for around 2 months, but in December, a new runner came in. He slowly creeped into a 21:30x time, and finally, he got the world record. But this time, well, was way different than the other runs. On December 1st, a runner named Depot Dose got an unbelievable 1 minute and 26 second world record improvement, getting a 1950. How'd he do it? Well, he used new jetpacks, and used new strategies. And the first strategy is fast spring jumping. You see, whenever you jump with the spring power-up, you stop for a second, then jump up. So instead, Depot Dose pressed jump, then immediately let go of jump. This allowed him to save some time from not slowing down from the jumping. Another simple strategy Depot Dose used was corner-upping. By jumping inside or onto the corner of a character, you can save a couple of frames and it adds up to make a run a few seconds faster. Overall, these strategies combined with better movement resulted in a minute time save. But still, there were a couple of mistakes that could be cleaned up. In 1-3, he accidentally jumped into Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and then jumped into Squidward. And he got hit a couple of times throughout the run. But still, it was decent. 2022 was now getting close, as the 1950 had been standing for a while. It was an unbelievably solid time save and it was pretty good for its time. Combined with the corner-ups and FSJs allowed Depot Dose to be a minute ahead. It would stand for a long time. Or so we thought. A new runner had came onto the scene, and just 23 days later, he would take the top spot. If you've heard of him before then cool, if you don't that's okay. This speedrunner had speedrun multiple Scratch games, but now Spongebob Run was in his attention. He started grinding Spongebob Run, and got real close to world record. His name was that young speedrunner. Now TYS was really interested in this game, he started grinding it a lot. And in the span of 23 days, he got a 1923. He had saved over 7 minutes in World 4 in his old time, a 21:27, which tied Dev's old record. In Plankton however, he did get bad RNG and missed some pufferfishes. But overall, he was able to beat the world record by 22 seconds. But TYS was really unhappy with this run, because of mistakes in Plankton. So, he started another grind. TYS wasn't just looking for a good speedrun, no, he was looking forward to the first 18-minute run. If he wanted to get that 18-minute run, he would need perfect execution. So he would start up a new grind, this time for the sub-19. He'd have to be perfect everywhere he went. And for the most part of 2022, this is what he'd do to the world record. While live streaming, TYS would not only get a 1859, he would get a 1851. He did miss a few jets, but he was very content with his run. And so, it would stand for a day. TYS would once again do offline attempts. On August 25, 2022, TYS would gain 0.9 seconds on World 1. He'd then get a gold split on World 2, which was amazing. However, that lead would erode, and he was now 0.2 seconds ahead. But he had a lot of time to save in World 5. And then, he would gain 12.2 seconds. This was a chance to demolish the world record. All he had to do was close the run out.
Ouch! You blasted barnacle head! Victory screech!
Although beating the record by only 13 seconds, this was unbelievable. He had skipped a 1840x time and went straight to a 1838. This run had every single time save you could think of. This run was way ahead of its time. This run was the equivalent of Depot Dose's 1950. Not even a single mistake could be spotted in the run. All the strategies, all the tricks and routing, allowed this run to even exist. And you can tell that this run would stand for a long time. Overall, the only main time saved for this run was some better movement in Worlds 3 to 4 and better Plankton RNG. But nobody could match TYS's incredible World 5. It was just too perfect to compete with. The 1838 would stand for 7 months. TYS almost forgot about the game, but in 2023 he would do more offline attempts. But on April Fool's Day 2023, this is not a joke, he would get on this run. TYS would get a 1832, and that's the current world record. His run was very close throughout the run, it was tied mostly, but he did save some time. But what allowed the run to be world record was Plankton. The RNG on Plankton was very perfect. Instead of the bad RNG in the 1838, TYS got good RNG here. TYS is now aiming for a sub 1830 time. Other than that, we won't really know where the time might go down from here. Rather, there will be another bombshell of a run with lots of time saved, or just another 1-7 world record improvement. But even if so, Spongebob Run speedruns have a long path to explore. And if it weren't for cartoon games, TYS, and many others, this wouldn't have happened. This was the history of Spongebob Run world records. Thanks for watching.